Hey gamers, Induced from Induced Games. This week I've been playing a bit of Vanquished and I'm here to give you my review on it. Before I divulge into the world of Vanquished, I'd like to point out that this is my personal opinion and I haven't been swayed by any other reviews that I've seen. So, as always, let's start off with what this game has to offer. The gameplay in Vanquished is intense to say the least. You won't go a second without rockets flashing by your head or bullets ricocheting off walls. Also, the gameplay gives you a sense of accomplishment. I mean, people, there ain't much better than slowing down time, smashing a giant robot in the cock, doing a backflip, and raping his face in with a shotgun. And if that doesn't make you happy, then I don't know what does. Now, personally, I haven't been known to like this type of game, but Vanquished has really made a few steps into changing my opinion. It's really fast-paced and energetic gameplay, and not only incredibly fun, but also keep you on your toes, constantly throwing new enemies and old enemies alike to try and stop you fulfilling your quest. Also, the idea of upgrading your weapons was a great idea, as actually it gives you a reason to go around opening random green boxes and resupplying your guns. Also, the amount of guns that are actually in Vanquished is pretty hefty. I mean, you've got the usual machine gun weapons, then you have the option of using like strange futuristic guns like the disc gun, for example, which literally fires a giant homing disc at your enemies. Also, the boss fights are a nice addition to the game and give you more to fight than just the stock robot waves that get thrown at you every single battle. Also, each boss has near enough a one-shot kill move it can use, which means you have to keep your concentration and you don't have to make any silly moves. Considering the high tempo gameplay, I'd usually expect the frame rate to drop a little, especially when everything's going on and you've got rockets and shit flying at you and walls blowing up. But I'm happy to say that during all my tests the frame rate wasn't affected to the point where it became distracting. Graphics also haven't been compromised and look great, especially on the lead character Sam, whose DARPA suit looks incredibly intricate and the detail involved definitely needs an applause. The cutscenes, I feel, also need a mention, and although at times can be quite annoying, are also beautifully done and also have small details that really make you appreciate the work that went into making it. The animations in Vanquished are made of pure awesome sauce. The fact that you can slide around to cover and do some strange breakdance move in the process not only looks smexy, but adds to the illusion that you're in a crazy battlefield environment. Contained within Sam's arsenal of weapons is the ability to slow down time. This effect automatically activates when Sam is suffering the most and needs to find cover. This kind of gives you the feeling of suspense, but also gives you the time to react to the situation, which is a really nice feature. All these aspects in the game make it great fun to play. However, the game does have some serious drawbacks for me anyway. The story and voice acting suck ass. Sam, the lead character, seems to be this cigarette addicted junkie who obviously cares nothing about anything apart from getting his next fix. This really leaves you with no care to what happens to this character, and you only find it hard to have a real connection with him. The other reoccurring character is a huge lumbering man under the name of Burn. This guy is the epitome of steroid induced. No wonder he has such a temper and ego. I bet he doesn't have a penis half the size of it. Maybe he was beaten as a child, who knows. This guy seriously just slags you off the entire game, and you actually, at the end, care more about him than anyone else. Mainly because he's a complete legend, with a mahoosive gun, but I don't know. That's just the way I felt. Although the gameplay is great during the middle part of the game, they failed to introduce many new enemies, and I got the feeling that the gameplay was just becoming really repetitive. Also, the controls take a lot of getting used to. They're very clunky, and I really wish that they gave you an option to choosing which your own button layout to use. There's only 2 stock layouts in the game, and yeah, you don't really have much choice apart from that. I think some parts of the gameplay are done superbly. You have a meter to stop you from abusing the slow-mo timer, which is seriously overpowered, as well as some other neat things that the DARPA suit can do. However, I think the melee system really seems to be flawed. When you perform a melee strike, your meter instantly becomes drained, leaving you open to assault from other enemies. And as soon as you perform the melee move when you're in close quarters, this feature regularly ends in death for you, really. And I personally see no use for it. Earlier I mentioned the cutscenes can be annoying. The reason why for this is because there's so fucking many of them. Literally, you'll storm your way through a hallway or a plateau of enemies just to be greeted and interrupted by a 2-minute cutscene on the other end. This can be really said for any fighting situation in the game. This does look great at the start, however it really loses its charm over time and just drags on and on and on and on. By the end I felt like I really watched half a film and half a game. Lastly, the only replay value in this game seems to possess is the online leaderboards. Here you have your score for each act and mission posted for all the world to see. Unless you're competing against friends to see who can do the best, I think this function has limited functionalities, and I don't think people will be rushing back to improve their score. Okay, so let's wrap this up. If you're into a game with fast-paced, crazy atmosphere warfare, and you want to perform sick kills, then definitely pick up Vanquish. However, if you require a game with a little bit more depth and gives you the atmosphere of a really good plot, look elsewhere. I'm going to give Vanquished a 7 out of 10.